when I'm talking about motivation in this case, it is what brings your client to your classes, but it is also about how are we going to motivate our clients to keep coming and to keep working on the things that are important to them. So we get motivation from making progress towards our goals. So if your client has come in because they want to reduce the pain that they might be feeling in their lower back, and they're making progress towards reducing the level of pain that they're experiencing, they are more likely to be motivated to come back. So you can see that our motivation is, again, a partnership between you and your client. You are giving them the desired result, and it doesn't have to happen today. And in fact, it's probably a really good idea for you to have that conversation with them to say, look, this is a work in progress, that you're not just going to miraculously do, an hour's worth of exercise and your back pain is going to be cured. It's also in our power then to give them homework, because that homework that they then take ownership of shows their commitment and their motivation to reaching their goals. And really, if you want to reach your goal, you have to put the work in. So that goes for everything in life, not just for your client coming in through the door. And it's the same for us. If we want to improve our teaching, then we have to be willing to make the changes necessary. We have to be willing to work at it. We have to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, because it isn't easy making those changes. It's much easier just to keep doing what we've always done. But if we keep doing what we've always done, we aren't going to change and we aren't going to get better. And then that's going to impact on our clients. That's going to impact on how well they do, how successful they are, and that will have a knock-on effect for us. So the better we become as teachers, the more honest we are with ourselves, the better our businesses are going to be, the better connection we're going to be making with our clients. So, within motivation, there is not just the motivation for the client, but also motivation for you to become a better communicator. We can use intrinsic motivators as well as extrinsic motivators. So our intrinsic motivators come from us. Those are our values. Those are our beliefs. So if we believe that our back pain is never going to get better, chances are that's probably exactly what's going to happen. But if we're willing to challenge that belief, if we're willing to change those intrinsic motivators, and we start giving ourselves more positive reinforcement, then we will be able to achieve that goal. And so for me, that is a very important part of when I'm working with my clients, is giving them a positive spin on things, and saying, that's great, there has been some movement. So yes, you're not 100% pain-free, but you feeling like you've moved the needle forward a little bit. That is something worth celebrating. So another great motivator for me in terms of teaching is really helping people to become aware of their bodies, using a benchmarking process where we might do something on one side of the body. We'll stop, we'll evaluate what that feels like. And quite often people don't have a lot of sense of what that feels like. They might really struggle to put words around it. And that's okay. You can help them. You can start sharing some of your observations, and they might be able to resonate with that. So you might say, well, does that feel a little bit lighter or heavier? Does it feel longer? Does your hip feel lower to the ground? Does your shoulder feel more relaxed? Does your arm feel longer? So you might start asking questions and helping them to put words around the sensation that they've just created in their body, so that the brain can learn. We're so used to blocking that in our bodies, so that if there's pain, we block it, we take painkillers, we try and ignore it, we push it down. And in some cases, that's exactly what we need to do. But when we're working with our bodies and trying to move forward, it's really about creating a language around what it is that we're feeling. And that is incredibly difficult. So the other thing that really motivates your client is if that exercise is relevant to them. Is it something as simple as getting in and out of a chair? For some people, that is not an easy thing to do. They really struggle and they might have a lot of pain when they're busy doing it. So, how can we make that easier? And which exercises are we going to choose to make that apparent to them so that they'd be motivated to do those exercises so they can get in and out of the chair or up off the floor or walk better, play tennis better, play golf better. So whatever hobbies your clients are interested in, those are always useful to find out. Or is it maybe a work-related issue that they get a really sore right shoulder because they're always using the mouse on the right-hand side and maybe they tensing their shoulder up towards the ear when they're busy doing it? Helping them to problem solve some of those normal everyday niggles is an incredibly powerful motivating tool to keep them coming back, but also for them taking ownership of the movements they do in their everyday life. So it's really important that we walk that fine line between what we tell our clients to do and what we give them to do. Sort of guiding them in their experience. And so we have many teaching tools at our disposal to help us foster that problem-solving approach for our clients in their own bodies. I always love it when clients come back to me and say, I just realized that whenever I'm sitting in the car, I'm slumping off to one side. And so now I'm understanding why the right side of my back is so sore. And so then we can go, well, what could we do? Maybe you can put a towel into the back of your seat and level it off, because have you got a bucket seat that sort of slopes down at the back? Maybe we can just elevate you so that you're sitting more on top of your sitting bones and you've got more awareness of where your sitting bones are. And we can try a few different scenarios, and clients will often come up with what helps them long before you have. So it's just fantastic to give them those tools, those problem-solving tools, and the courage to actually try it for themselves. So another thing that can become a little bit disconcerting, especially in the beginning when you try these, is giving them challenging things to do. So is it standing on one leg with your eyes closed? That's quite disorientating. It's unpredictable. You don't know whether you're going to fall to the right or the left. Are you going to open your eyes up in time and put your foot down? What are you going to do? So giving them some activities with unpredictable outcomes where they really have to problem solve again is another great motivating factor, so that if they can do it, it really boosts their confidence. So I'm hoping this gives you a little bit of an insight more into ways that we can build motivation into our classes. So there's a lot to think about. I know it can get a little bit overwhelming. Bear with me. It will all make sense in the end. Right now, we're probably in the middle of a few things that's got your head spinning, but that's okay. Remember, let's get comfortable with the uncomfortable so that we can move forward and we can grow from here. Thanks for joining me.